Good day, I'm Odell Reyes. I'm the resident entomologist of Pestfree and would like to welcome you to our online version of the Pest Bulletin called Pestfree Speaks. For the initial installment of Pestfree Speaks, we will be tackling the issue on food safety. And I would like to turn you over to our correspondent for his take on food safety and food safety issues.
Hi, I'm David Burgess from Environmental Services and welcome to this week's Pestfree Speaks. There's been several instances through my career where I've experienced quite bad food safety issues. But two stand out in my mind, particularly one with a international fast food group, and the second one was a manufacturer of breakfast cereals. The fast food outlet, the issue there was cockroaches, German cockroaches, and with the cereal company it was rodents. And the issue that was there was both pest control operator related and also customer related, where maybe the pest control operator wasn't physically doing what he should have been doing, and also the customer's lack of understanding of what their role was in pest management. But there's one thing I think that's worth mentioning, and particularly in this part of the world, is residential or domestic food safety. And the issue here, I think, is one of sanitation, and it's a big problem that we see here, where there's lack of things like fly screens, keeping flies and pests out, maybe introducing pests to the house through products that are either contaminated or infested with various different types of pests. I think it's interesting the impact that food safety or pest control has with food safety. If you look at these three scenarios that I've mentioned, firstly, if we look at the fast food outlet, there was cockroaches in the machines, and therefore they'd found a different hiding place. And you can imagine with machines for mixing bits and pieces or whatever these pieces of equipment were used for, that a cockroach could be a part of the food. So it's a reputational problem, as well as the fact of somebody not aware that these pests could actually invade or infest the product they were producing. On the other hand, with the cereal producer, what the problem there was rodents in the store, in their warehouse where they stored all their grains ready for processing. And the big issue there was that the rats would actually attack the bags of grain, and of course the stock was spoiled and had to be thrown out. So it was a huge monetary loss for these people. It wasn't a matter of the food they were producing being contaminated. It was more so the product they were using for their process not being available to produce their products. The third one, coming back to the domestic situation, is the impact that food safety can have on families. Because if you allow flies to settle on food, if you allow cockroaches to be in the kitchen, or even mice, particularly in around the house, then you're going to introduce all sorts of health issues for the family. So I guess there's three. You've got one where there's a reputational issue, you've got another where there's a loss of stock, and the third one is the actual health of your own family, those people close to you. I think the responsibility or the role of the pest control professional, pest control operator with food safety is really to understand what they have to do, what they're required to do on the site. And it's not about technique necessarily, it's more about if the site has a HACCP program, then they should be fully aware of what is contained in that HACCP program. If there's company policy in terms of what should or shouldn't be done on that particular site, they should understand that. They should also be aware that if they go in to a food site and they have an illness, or they've got dirty clothes, or whatever it may be, that's going to affect what they do on that particular site. But I would say that the biggest thing in food safety and pest control generally is the art of communicating. You've got to be able to speak to people, ask questions, you have to listen, and then once you understand fully what's required to be done, then you go on and do it. I think if we want to be a professional pest control company and have all our people as professional technicians, then we have to target those markets that the cowboys can't operate in. And particularly food safety is one of those. There are other markets as well, schools, hospitals, but food safety stands out to me as being probably the most complex of a pest controller's site. And that's around things I've mentioned before in terms of it relies upon very accurate record keeping, very strong communication with the customer, understanding what's required at the site, being fully conversant with everything that you need to do on that site to make sure that not one pest item enters into the food cycle. So from that point of view, we stand head and shoulders above the rest. People can't compete, and I think an obvious situation or circumstance of this is the recent awarding of Emirates Catering to our commercial business. The other thing is with food safety, because it is so specialised, we can actually take a greater margin. We're not competing on price with the cowboys. Sure, price is a consideration, but generally we can make a better margin. So for me, food safety, hospitals, schools, all those areas where it's sensitive by nature and you need a professional on site, those are the markets to be in.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.